It's Submarine Week. In 1895, Dominic Conti arrived on the shores of America with a dream: to make the best damn sandwiches he could. His recipe, brought from his native Italy, called for a long, crusty roll filled with cold cuts, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, onions, oil, vinegar, herbs, salt, and pepper, with a layer of cheese on top and bottom to protect the bread from getting soggy. Nowadays, chain restaurants across the world attempt to capture his brilliance, but few can parallel it. Dominic Conti, you and your sandwiches are all right. We watched The Hunt for Red October and Down Periscope.
Ah, the French champagne.
Can you tell me which members of the Reservoir Dogs you two are currently dressed as?
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Classic.
Classic Spielberg.
Classic Spielberg.
He needs to kill 94 different 65-year-old men over 2.5 years because those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Shake it! Shake it!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is... Those are the wrong kinds of submarines. Sean.
There's something so disgusting about the term long, crusty roll, and I don't really know. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
Did you guys happen to hear that story when it came out? It was I remember it being a nice little dose of joy partway through this pandemic of like, when I think it was Ireland, when they ruled that said sandwich chains bread were technically donuts.
Right.
Like because of the content what was in
so
them.
much sugar.
Yeah, like so much sugar and stuff in them that the Irish government was like, you're selling donut sandwiches. And Subway was like, we have to say that. And they were like, they are pastries. So yes, you're a pastry shop now.
I mean, that's still better than when North American Subway was found to contain like tire rubber in their buns.
Nice.
Right.
Who needs government control over your products, huh?
Yeah, like at least a pastry is a food classification.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh boy. So hi everyone. Welcome to Citizen Kane Versus, where we compare a movie that's more of a classic versus a movie that's more on the schlocky side. And we ask ourselves honestly, which is better, huh? Mm-hmm. My name is Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two friends, one...
Seaman Sean Jacqueline.
And the other?
Lieutenant Daniel Benoit.
You didn't make yourself a captain?
No, we don't want the boat.
No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for joining us. As always, if you're listening... I
should have made myself the captain. Fuck.
Nope.
You really botched it. I'm Captain Jack then, I guess. I'm Captain
I mean, that
Jack.
does have a better ring
done.
to it than Captain Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. You're Lieutenant Dan. And I'm Captain Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Dan,
Right.
he helms like a little children's tourist boat around a harbor like twice a day, something like that.
I mean, based on the way I'm dressed, I would say that's a probably more fitting
Yeah.
job
Except I don't want
for me.
my kids anywhere near you the way you're dressed right now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or when I'm dressed normally.
Where did you get that hat?
It's my girlfriend's. This entire ensemble is Maurice's.
He's made himself up to look like a sea captain with a hat and some glasses and a white shirt.
And there's a boat in his background.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, that is not a real boat.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not on loan from the United States military?
I just picked it up on loan from Kelsey Grammer, actually.
So they had to disinfect the whole thing.
Oh dear. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and please do maybe just pop over to our Twitter if you're already listening. We got we're at Citizen Kane VS, and Sean's over there making a big stink over all kinds of things.
Sure.
So do check that out and follow him because he's great on there. And yeah, that's it. I had a wonderful time. Sean, you pitched these movies.
I did.
And I think it's a great pairing.
Thank you.
You know, and we never really know because often we'll pitch maybe one movie we've seen and then something we haven't seen. And so that's kind of the fun of it, right? Is that we don't always know what we're going to get. I thought this was a really good pairing because when I'm already starting to think ahead to like rating them, I am not sure.
Really?
I do, like, you know what I mean? Like it's some I feel more strongly than others, but
yeah, there's some gray zone.
yeah, there's definitely some gray zone.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really fun pairing. Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah, I had a great time. There was times where I was actually wondering if Down Periscope even really qualifies as schlock because I was enjoying it so
Really?
much. Wow.
Huh.
I mean, then I watched a bit more of it and I was like, oh no, we're fine.
Yeah,
But
you know,
yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I almost had the opposite experience. Is that Down Periscope grew on me.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
the
same.
more I watched it, as it was starting, there was a lot of. It's pretty rough at the beginning, and it's like, and then as it goes, I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. Okay.
All right.
So let's give the people an idea of what we're talking about here. Let's get some summaries. I'm hoping for some sort of nautical boxing theme, but
Oh yeah, no. It just we're just sticking to the regular format this week. I
can
didn't
you
have-
do a pirate voice?
Sure, I can try. Yar.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
All right,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you for the improv this week. I'm excited.
Okay.
Start with a yar. That'll help you.
I just got so nervous. Okay. Yar. In the red corner, representing the classic, an American CIA author that tasks himself with intercepting a Russian crew of Brits and Lithuanians on the run from the Russian fleet after stealing a super submarine with plans to defect so they can achieve their dream of moving to Montana. Coming in at 135 minutes, starring Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery. The Hunt for Red October. How am I doing so far?
It's turning into like a troll person kind of voice, but
Well, we're already halfway through, so we're sticking with that now.
Yeah.
Yar! In the blue corner, representing the schlock, yar. A tattooed seaman who earns his first naval command after leading a group of misfit sailors to victory in a set of grossly imbalanced war games. Yar! Coming in at 92 minutes, starring Kelsey Grammer and Rob Schneider. Periscope down.
well done. Congratulations.
Yar.
Citizen Kane of the Week goes to Captain Daniel.
Goes to
Lieutenant
That's
Dan.
Lieutenant Daniel.
Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. That was wonderful. Yar.
It was not, but you're welcome.
Okay.
I said it, I didn't say it was good. I said it was wonderful,
Yeah,
and
there's
it
a lot of
was
wonder in it,
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For at its core, this podcast is also schlock. So
Correct.
we have to own up to that.
Oh my god, I get it now.
Yeah.
How
I-
fucking meta is that?
Light
yeah.
bulb. So let's jump in. Let's jump in with our first category. Story. Ooh. All hands on deck for story. So, like I was already kind of saying, Down Periscope grew on me. I found its writing to be subpar in the
Yes,
opening
dreadful.
scenes, like fairly dreadful. And then somehow it kind of finds its legs a bit more. Some of the characters start to grow on you a little bit. Some of the bits are like, oh, you know what? You're doing that okay. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started, and I thought I was in for like a Deuce Bigelow style movie.
Yeah.
And then as it carried on, I thought they were going to go for more of like an airplane type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like halfway through, they kind of almost drop
the comedy altogether, and it just becomes just like a regular sailor movie.
Yeah.
Where everybody bands together and like the movie grows this heart that really kind of gets you on board. So its tone was confusing, but ultimately it evolved into something pretty fun.
Yeah, and then ended poorly. It was like wee. That was my experience.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I thought they were good and bad things about the ending. Look, I mean, here's the thing, the issue with these movies. So women.
Yeah.
Women.
What do we do with them?
Women.
We can just not put any in it and
Yeah,
avoid that
least-
issue entirely.
At least down Periscope has a woman in it.
Yeah.
Hunt for Red October, there's Alec Baldwin's wife who's like, look after the kids. And then fucking men. Men time now.
Yeah.
Down Periscope has a woman, but it's like, but the guys take her underwear. It's like it wants to like the movie wants to be a lot like it's I thought it was gonna be like a National Lampoon's I thought Airplane 2. It's like, what is this movie trying to be? And eventually it was like, just maybe a fun boat movie.
I'd listened to a podcast earlier this week talking about the current revelations of like the rampant sexual assault in the Canadian military.
That's
and
fun.
then I watched that scene today where they shrink her clothing and make her boobies go out and it's all just like, oh, boys will be boys. And I went, oh, so it's a documentary. Okay, great.
So here's my question. This movie and Red October were both made early mid 90s.
96 for Down Periscope and 90 for Hunt. Yeah.
Okay. So at that time, is it true that women were not allowed to serve on a submarine? Like, were they not allowed in the Navy?
I'm not sure when women were allowed in the American military. Women in the Navy. I'll just Google that.
And the
right
Navy
now
might have been
for you.
separately. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
I also was like, I saw it coming though with like it's like 6 years of progress watching two movies where it's like Hunt for Red October is like no women, nothing. And then you get like 6 years later, it's like a woman, but the boys holler at her and they take her undies. And also it's like, you could just tell like the writing room was like, hey, let's get a woman in here. She's like asserting herself into the movie. She can do stuff. She's like a competent boat pilot. I don't know what the term is, but like who does she kiss though? Who does she kiss? Because we have to figure out who she kisses, though.
Yeah.
That's the only note I have for her is I hope that she doesn't fuck someone in this movie.
Yeah.
No, but she's gonna. They're walking
But she's
off
gonna, yeah.
Because she asked about his dick tattoo.
And he puts his arm around her and is like, well,
Let me tell you a story.
it's a very long story.
So I
or
have the
whatever.
exact date that women were allowed to serve on submarines.
Ooh, that's okay. Let's do
Yeah.
a Price is Right thing.
Yeah,
let's Let's
Okay.
see who can guess closest without going over.
Yeah.
Okay, the exact date.
Yeah.
Okay.
For submarines or for Navy?
This is for submarines. The Navy, it's been decades, but submarines in particular
Oh,
is different.
All right, I'm going to say it's probably after this movie.
Okay.
Because if women could serve on submarines, that joke wouldn't have made any sense. So I'm going to say October 24th, 1998.
Okay. Jack?
okay. I'm gonna go $1, Bob. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say this feels like a spring choice. So I'm gonna say like a May. I'm gonna say May 10th.
Okay.
And I think this movie. I don't think the writers of this movie are that creative. So I think it happened before. So I'm gonna say May 10th, 1995.
Okay. So we have a 98, 95 fall and spring respectively. So Jack, you're right about the season. It is the date is the 29th of April,
That was close. That was close.
Spring.
That was close. Well done.
2010.
No.
What?
No.
Obama.
Oh my God.
Because boys don't know what to do with their pee-pees when girls are around.
But we're all stuck in the boat, Captain.
What are we gonna do? Not assault her?
Oh my God.
I can't focus on my turning knobs.
Yeah.
What with a woman's here?
Yep. 2010. Congratulations, the world. America
so
in
Obama
particular.
saw it down Periscope, and he was like, "Some things have to change."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend I can do an Obama.
Yeah,
That wasn't a bad Obama.
Yeah.
I rushed through it because I didn't want to sit in it for too long.
Okay, so by the end of it, I want to hear the fully fleshed out Obama.
That feels fair because you did a pirate, but I know it's not fair.
You have to beatbox as Barack Obama to close the show. That's
right.
crazy. What about Canadian?
2001. I just looked that one up.
Wait, submarines, Canadian don't we have one? But it's been
we've got a
parked in a
few.
harbor
We've got a
for
few.
its whole life.
We've got a few.
God.
So we got to
Okay.
go under that ice, you know?
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
That is so fucked up.
Oh boy. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Let's be real. We know the world well enough by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
that.
just dreading. As soon as she was introduced, I was like, please, she doesn't kiss him. Please.
And the
then
movie
she
was
did.
like, oh, maybe just close your eyes for about 30 seconds right now. Okay.
The movie's like,
Okay, you can
what
watch
if
again.
what if he's kind of nice to her once?
Yeah. What if he kind of traumatizes her by giving an order that she might not have been ready to receive, and then like kind of passive aggressively bullies her into making tough decisions later in the film too, and then she kisses him for it.
That's a bit of a stretch in describing it. He was
I would not call it a lie though.
no, but he was goading her to reach her potential in a high pressure situation.
Of course.
He wasn't fucking bullying her.
He was teasing her.
He earned that kiss. I'm kidding.
He
I'm not
was
taking that back.
flirting.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In the
Flirting.
workplace. Come on.
Look, it's just a little like, come on.
Bad.
So yeah, that is definitely a rough part of that movie.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the writing isn't good, but it's like it is sometimes funny. And I will give it that. There are some kind of fun characters. Like you said, the ending wasn't good, but I kind of liked the twist of I tried to write down his name. The one who was like, I'm causing problems, but just for me.
Yeah, he's fine. He,
All right,
he was
yeah.
fine. The
He's the
characters
one who
were
panic.
fine.
But
Yeah.
the twist of Rip Torn being his dad was actually kind of.
It was foreseeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
kind of predictable.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I thought he was the one that they were gonna have the woman hook up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Not Kelsey
And
Grammer.
like outlaw, badass, I do
Like-
my own thing.
roughly the same age as her.
I wasn't sure whether Rob Schneider's character was
Ugh.
what the point of that was, because at least the way it came off was a whiny little annoying man who
real
isn't ever
Rob
really
Schneider type.
threatening. He's never threatening, and then they throw him overboard.
Well, it starts off with them. It starts off with him seeming like he's threatening. When he first gets on the chef's case, the chef seems really bothered by it and kind of intimidated. But
Yeah.
then in the very next scene, Schneider is a joke. And I will say that I think is the core problem with this movie. Like he starts doing his weird fucking Rob Schneider over the top shtick, and he sets the tone for what you think the movie is going to be, because he's like the first character you see on the movie. And then as soon as he exits, it becomes infinitely better, because then everyone is just like a regular fucking human being, and there's no cartoon characters anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck Rob Schneider is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Rob Schneider, that whole character seems pretty stupid. And yeah, he creates more tonal problems, and this movie has a bunch of tone problems where suddenly they're dressed up as pirates again, and they make him walk the plank, and it's like, oh, so this is a National Lampoon's movie now. Like now we're watching like John Belushi
because he's
and
unorthodox.
Animal House.
He's an unorthodox ship captain, undersea boat captain.
Yeah, he likes costumes. Essentially, is what that means.
Yeah, it's true. And he's got a tattoo. Well, what's it say? It says "Welcome aboard," tattooed on his penis.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Which
It
is
pretty funny.
genius.
It's pretty
But
funny.
it didn't. The whole tattoo on his dick thing, I felt didn't really fit his character at all.
No.
Like they try to set him up as this incompetent, reckless, kind of like loose cannon, and Kelsey Grammer does not play it that way at all.
No.
He's like grounded and responsible and supports his crew, and he's patient and never once acts reckless or
Don't
whatever.
they try to explain that though once? I think it's really quick. I think I kind of missed it where it's like there's something to do with the mermaid. The mermaid something.
Yeah, he
messed
grazed
something
a
up.
torpedo or something,
Oh,
or
yeah.
grazed a submarine, and then that fucked his career. So he got drunk and blacked out and woke up with a dick tattoo.
Yeah, so it's not like he is. It's this funny thing where it's like, and then ever since then, he's kind of just been a bit more like a, well, fuck it. Like, I guess I'm
Right.
just
So
in
the
it
movie
to have
is
a
him
laugh.
overcoming his nihilism to realize that even
be a
he
good
can bone the
captain.
blonde.
I mean,
Yeah.
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 But that he can be because I was like, he's just a really good like he's really good at this. So what's the issue?
Well, it's because Bruce Dern doesn't like him.
Is Bruce
Because of
Dern
the dick tattoo.
the actor who plays the dude who doesn't like him?
Yeah, the Admiral.
Yeah.
That was so he just didn't like him because he had a dick tattoo and he felt like he was not a good representation of the Navy.
I guess. Yeah. It's kind of like the same guy from Hunt for Red October who's pissed that Jack Ryan is in a naval officer's uniform when he's not in the Navy. Like, okay.
Right. It's like weird
Yeah.
status stuff.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, but that's corrected pretty quickly. Like in this movie, like all it takes for the guy in Red October to get over that is one story about Jack Ryan being a badass, and he's like,
Right.
okay, that's fine then, I'm okay. And down Periscope, this guy fucking really hates him. Like, makes it his life mission to bring him down.
To go to Hunt for Red October, this movie is silly. It's a silly movie.
It's
Yes.
a bit silly. It also has tonal issues.
Yeah,
Yes.
and when it's revealed that Jack Ryan is a novelist who also is an analyst for the CIA, and it clicked that Tom Clancy has just been writing himself as Jack Ryan for 40 years now.
Yep.
I went, oh no. And suddenly all of those annoying little like tropey great American spy thriller things started pulling out of the movie for me. And like,
When like at the end of the movie, he's handed a gun by Sean Connery, and suddenly he's like John McClane crawling through the rafters
Yep.
and swinging down and getting the jump on people and shooting and killing the saboteur. I was like, what?
without
Why?
hesitation, just like shooting him cold and unloading the clip into his chest.
Yeah, it was like, doesn't it happen in the movie that Sean Connery, he's like, I'm going to go after him, and he like.
Yeah.
He goes, he gets a gun, and then doesn't someone else, like one of the other crewmates, isn't like, well, you better go with him. Like doesn't say like
the captain of the other submarine tells Jack Ryan to go with him after giving Sean Connery his gun.
but like why? Why would the
help him.
analyst go with him though?
Because he's a Marine, damn it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess he does have military training, but
Yeah.
it seems very silly.
Okay, so wait. Tom Clancy, two things here, because I just learned a whole bunch in that exchange.
Oh, okay.
So Tom Clancy himself is a CIA author and analyst?
I don't know if I think he's worked for some governments because he's written a bunch of spy novels that are really popular that have been turned into movies. So he gets asked into like government operations to be kind of like a popular person that is here
As like
well.
a consultant?
Yeah, I think he does have
That's a problem.
I think he does have like that kind of training in his background somewhere, but he's not Jack Ryan hopping around countries killing bad guys.
Okay, so also the Jack Ryan thing. So all like the other, because Tom Cruise also played a Jack Ryan a few years later.
Yep.
And now John Krasinski has a show,
Yep.
I think
Harrison
just called
Ford
Jack Ryan.
Yep, Harrison Ford played him twice in the 90s, and Ben Affleck played him in the early 2000s, and Chris Pine in the 2000s as well. It's like a whole series of movies.
There's that many, eh?
Yeah,
I didn't
it was
realize
supposed
that.
to be the American James Bond, right?
Right.
Was this the first depiction of Jack Ryan in movies?
Yeah, it was.
Wait, his name is Jack Ryan. I didn't realize that it's the same character.
Yeah, it's the same character because Jack Ryan shows up in a bunch of Tom Clancy's novels. They're all like Jack Ryan Chronicles,
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this, to my knowledge, is one of the more nuanced ones.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
There's less pew-pews.
Yeah.
I would say
There's
enjoyed. There's a few pew-pews.
It's very minimal.
It is minimal, but I think that was a strength for this movie. I think it would have been possibly worse. I liked the intrigue that it set up for a bunch of it. I thought the tone of that was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the mystery of you don't know why Sean Connery is doing what he's doing, and you kind of you're learning it, you're figuring it out maybe as Jack Ryan is, and how he's going to get them off the boat, and it was fun. I had a fun time going on that journey with them. When
I say it was silly, it was I can recognize how like this movie is just propaganda. But it's fun to partake in that propaganda. Yeah.
It's definitely it's like half dunked in the crazy American war machine propaganda, but it's not the full dunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got that chocolate coating, just waist up.
Yeah. Which I feel like the TV show currently is full dunk.
Yes. Yeah. I think almost anything after this seems it's getting down in the full dunk. But it's also a big clusterfuck of way too many characters and too much shit happening. I will say that. It's also like, what the fuck?
I had to stop taking notes halfway through because I couldn't fucking follow what was happening if I looked away from the screen for too long.
Yeah.
Stellan Skarsgård's character was so tertiary to the whole thing. They just needed a bad Russian guy. So he kept reminding me of just Khan sitting on the console of the Enterprise, popping in every so often and being like, ah!
Yeah, it took me a second to even realize who the fuck he was. There was no explanation of, well, not the actor. I mean the character in the movie, because there was no real introduction for him. Suddenly
they mentioned him in the first scene.
Yeah, it's quickly mentioned that he was a student of Sean Connery's.
Yeah, but he doesn't care for anyone but himself.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Which describes most of Tom Clancy's characters.
Yes. Yeah.
I have no familiarity with Tom Clancy's characters.
Well, I intend
for the
this
ones in Rainbow Six, the video game.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. All those video games. I intend this to be now an ongoing thing. I will, and please join in. We should bring back all of the Jack Ryan movies in some way, shape, or form, because I think they all fit into classic or bad.
All the Jack Ryans versus the Land Before Time movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just yes.
Yeah, I mean, Hunt for October. I agree. The intrigue was well set up, but I think it would have been far more intriguing without the opening typewriter crawl that we get.
Right.
Explaining that nothing that we're about to see has actually ever happened according to the government.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. I think that set me up. That set my expectations for the movie very, very low.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, they didn't really rise too much higher as the movie went on, but maybe that's a good thing. I think that this movie it feels like, and I haven't done it yet, but it feels like a movie that if you kind of sit and dissect too much, it'll just crumble in your hands.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's a master class in throwing everything at you so you think you're watching something really clever and really well constructed, but when you think about it for too long, you realize it's all window dressing.
Because it has some good, some of this, like you say, I kind of like some of the setup. I like the intrigue about how the engines, these new engines, and figuring out and going to different specialists and talking, that kind of stuff was fun. And then once, I'll say the jump the shark moment in this movie is when Alec Baldwin cuts himself from the helicopter and lands in the ocean and is brought in through a tube and is poured out, and he's like, like happy to be aboard. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then stuff just starts happening and people are just places. It's just now James Earl Jones is on a boat and he's making special commands and pressing special buttons.
Yeah.
And
CIA,
then the other
baby.
boat has arrived and they're docking and this and then that. And then the saboteur is a real person and is there and he's the cook.
Yeah.
And it's this and like it's just like stuff, just like some stuff starts to happen. And it's kind of fun. You can just ride it, but it's yeah.
In the final scene, there's 3 submarines, 1 boat, a bunch of dinghies. Like suddenly, all the vessels are there.
Yeah.
And the Russians still think that Sean Connery is fighting for them. Amidst all this,
the ones from the Red October
his ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody explain this to me because I couldn't figure it out. Why is it? I understand why Sean Connery felt zero need to attempt any kind of Russian accent. They explained it away in a single line of dialogue that he's actually Lithuanian.
Right.
It's great.
Scottish.
Why?
Yeah. Same thing.
Why are there so many British people on this ship?
Well, did you notice the narrative trick they did at the beginning?
Go on.
Okay, so they're
It's actually really cool. It's something
Yeah.
for other parts of this as well, but yeah.
Yeah, they're speaking Russian, and then it's the scene where he picks up the book that's on Sean Connery's table, and he's reading a section out of it. He's reading it in Russian until he gets to the word Armageddon, which is the same word in both English and Russian. And at that point, the camera pans back and they're speaking English. So it's supposed to be like, our translators are on now. We know that they're Russian. From this point forward, you're just going to hear them translated for you, kind of thing.
But aren't there? But there's times later in the movie where they.
Yes,
where
when
they
the
speak
Americans
Russian.
get on the boat, and then suddenly we have English people trying to communicate with Russian people. You have to have that switch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that actually is pretty clever. Why did they have British accents?
Sam Neill was doing a Russian one.
Sam Neill was. Tim Curry was not.
Tim Curry. Oh my God. Stop. Just quit. Just.
This is what I mean. You pick this movie apart even a little bit.
Yeah,
but that is really cool. I didn't clue into that at all. That is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. They
That's
zoomed in on his mouth speaking, and then once it switched, they pulled back.
Yep.
It's a bit sloppy later on. I thought they were trying to something really sneaky, where Alec Baldwin reveals that he speaks Russian, and then he's like, "It's good to know the language of your opponent, is it not?" And then Sean Connery responds in English with, "It is."
It is.
And I was like, "Wait, is he still speaking Russian? And now we've done it again, or is he showing that he speaks English?" It's also very funny later when they have to run down to chase him, and I think you hear the American as they're going to find the saboteur. The American captain was like, "Like, do any of you speak English?" And you hear voices being like, "Yeah," like,
yeah.
The whole Russian
suddenly
crew
the whole
is like,
Russian crew is bilingual.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, perfectly, sir. What is it?" Yeah, and also you mentioned the opening crawl, Dan, and I was curious. It was one of those opening crawls that was like, it had a based on a true story type thing that it was trying to tease that, and I looked it up, and this is based on a true event, based in like very big quotazione marques, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So there was a time, there was an instance where there was like a captain, or I don't know if he was a captain, but a high-ranking officer had kind of convinced a number of people on a boat, actually it was a frigate, not a sub, but that they were going to try and take over the boat, but they weren't looking to defect. In fact, it was like the opposite. They wanted to lead a second revolution in Russia.
Yeah.
It was like the complete opposite.
Wow.
And it was pertaining though to, like, again, the October Revolution, the Red Revolution, that kind of thing. So it did have that connection, but it had nothing to do with them wanting to move to Do you think one day I can see Montana? I think I will raise rabbits and eat them.
You mean
the fuck?
The overwritten speech that in the end just says, "I'm going to die" at the end?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's not going to be that either. Have you been to the States? You're going to live within driving distance from a strip mall is what you're going to do.
Yes, but great Americans have freedoms. Freedoms. You mean we can cross state borders without papers? Oh my God!
Wait, no papers? No, he's like, no papers.
No papers.
I don't need. He's a pirate, Scott. Yeah, there's some really silly stuff, and October is the point. It's pretty wacky.
Yeah, there's a lot of techno babble to make you go, ooh, fancy. I'm gonna critique this as the capitalist pig propaganda it is, but it still was like I was gripped from moment to moment when he jumped the shark and dove into the water from the helicopter. I was still like, oh no, I hope he's okay. And then they pulled him up, and I was like, that captain should punch him in the face, and he didn't. And I was like, that's probably a better narrative moment. But I understand you, movie. It's okay.
It's okay, movie.
I would say maybe for me the most captivating part of both these movies is getting a glimpse into how sonar works in submarines.
It's a big part of the movies.
If that's how it actually goes, that is really fucking cool. That they don't really have eyes on anything. They are just listening for shit around them to navigate through open water. Yep. And they can hear people on other submarines like 1,000 yards away.
Yep.
Is that legit? Is that real?
Totally. Absolutely, man.
It is.
That's fucking bonkers, man. Like, that blew my mind. I had no idea that's how that worked. But also, why not just set up a screen that you can watch underwater?
I mean,
there's got to be technology for that.
Or like drones, water drones that float around beside your submarine.
But the thing is that the point is to remain undetected, right? They're supposed to be a stealth vessel. So if you have extra drones or stuff around you, that's just like more noise, more this, more that. And also, the thing is, it's not just like a why not have a screen. They're also deep. They're below a lot of the light levels. It's not going to matter if you have a screen.
That's a good point.
It's darkness. The best way to see is actually with sonar. So it's probably remained very much like that because of that, especially as I imagine subs go deeper and deeper.
But then how do you navigate stuff like cliffs or rocks underwater? Like, how do you navigate debris or obstacles or?
You've charged, but you can also pick that up with sonar. It just reflects back whatever it.
All right, because that's why you ping, right?
Yeah. And you get a little map of what's ahead of you.
There was this is kind of unrelated, but kind of related. I saw a documentary one time about a guy who was blind and taught himself how to see sonically.
It was like a kid who did it, right?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, Sean.
It was.
Don't you say Daredevil.
It was
Daredevil. It was a great Netflix Marvel documentary about. Oh yeah, the fucking movie, which we will get to. But yeah, it's a beautiful documentary.
But yeah, so that's okay. Well, this has been a very informative couple of weeks for me. So
yeah, it's
a couple
crazy.
of days, I guess. So thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
And both of these movies explore how you can trick sonar theoretically.
Yeah, that stuff is all fun.
Yep.
I was wondering off the top, is Down Periscope supposed to be like a parody answer to The Hunt for Red October? Is that what this is?
In part. Also, there have been a few like kind of like buddy comedy submarine Navy movies that it's also kind of aping. Yeah. So it's a parody of
submarine movies in
stuff.
General. Do most of them have to do with war games?
Yeah, which I always find, I hate when a movie is like, the climax is a war game. It's boring. I don't care. No one's going to die. It's lame.
Yeah, because I thought this movie was going to pull a Stripes.
Right.
I also thought this movie, like, oh, maybe the tone is actually, it wants to be Stripes, the movie. But submarines. And wherein they encounter an actual enemy sub and they have to fight it for real. Which is like, that's what happens in Stripes, right?
I've never seen it.
Oh, don't. It's abysmal.
Okay.
Ooh, so it sounds like we're going to watch it at some point.
Yeah.
But that's also that's also like the Tropic Thunder plot, right?
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's maybe what I'm thinking of even more.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to do that, but that's hard to do.
Yeah, but you know what? It worked for me. The characters had enough heart in this film to keep me like I was never gonna fly as a serious action movie, right?
No.
Obviously,
No.
but because of where it came from, because of how far the movie comes in 45 minutes or so, everything in the latter half is like Oscar worthy, comparatively speaking. Do you know what I mean?
Define Oscar worthy.
A movie whose excellence makes it worthy of acknowledgement by the Academy.
You thought there were parts of down Periscope that were worthy of recognition from its
I
peers
I thought the part
that
where the fat guy
compared-
farts and they hear it.
on the ship, and
Yeah.
then they have
You
to
know
all
what?
cover.
I was like, is this $1 Million Baby?
That was funny. I liked it.
But even that, when he first farted, fucking eye roll. I was like, oh God,
Yeah,
come on.
no.
But as the bit progressed,
Yep.
it won me over.
And then
and it became hilarious.
The whale song was the same. I was like, no, okay.
Oh, that
I'll
was
take it.
brilliant.
The whale song, meh, but the whale song charades, like
Yeah. Yeah,
him trying to
that was
convince, that was so good. Because that was the thing. This movie knows how to just drag out a joke until it's funny.
Yeah.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like I found the electrician pretty delightful.
Oh my
He was
God,
great.
Nitro.
Finding
Nitro. What's
Nitro.
your name? Nitro. Do you have a nickname? I'm thinking about Mike.
Just the look of like concern and panic on his face every time he had to connect a call.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so subtle but so
tingles.
fucking brilliant.
like
And
grabbing
him
the
becoming
wires.
him becoming a radio,
Yeah. There's funny bits in this film.
and him on his back grabbing the wires and being
Yeah.
like, "All right, you're hooked up," and his legs are squirming up at the front of the shot. Like, I got you pass through.
Yeah. And I wish there was more
Oh.
of the exploration of Harlan Williams' character, who's just got really, really good hearing.
Yeah.
And so he's the sonar guy. But like they only really do it at the beginning, and then at the end they kind of comment on it.
Yeah, Harlan Williams is someone who I have not seen or thought of in
No.
a good decade.
Yeah, I
So
only
good-
know him really from Sorority Boys. If you guys ever saw that gem of a film, it's where a
No.
bunch
I'm
of
afraid not.
it's where a bunch of men decide they're gonna dress up like women and join a sorority, and it's like a
inspired.
National Lampoon's movie, but
Right.
R-rated, I guess. A lot of boobs,
A lot of boobs.
a lot of drinking.
Okay.
Loved it as a teen.
Great.
But that's all I know him from.
So it would pair well with Down Periscope then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
well, like for this podcast.
Do a Harlan Williams. No. Just for like
okay.
a themed
Like, in
evening.
general.
You know, invite your
Well-
friends over for a Harlan Williams night.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because compared to Sorority Boys, Down Periscope is an
Is
Oscar-worthy movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, as we're already drifting on, let's end that round and let's carry on.
Let's do it.
So let's get into our second official round, which is looks. Looks. Do you like the looks? Looks good. What do we think? They look. They both have boats.
They both have boats.
Both have pretty boats. Yeah.
Red October at times felt like it was trying to be Star Wars underwater.
Sure. Yeah, a little bit.
Fair.
But I thought some of the cinematography in this movie was gorgeous. Like all the stuff literally aboard Red October, especially in the, like when you first get a glimpse inside and you have all like the lens flares and the really sleek fucking color palette.
And for some reason, fog machines. I don't know if you
Haze
noticed those.
just makes everything fucking look good, man.
It does,
You add a
but
bit of smoke to something. It doesn't
that's a
have to be
problem on a
motivated.
submarine.
Yeah.
True.
Y'all gonna die.
But it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Really does. Those red lights really were red in that fog.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. And also, I mean, I think that like, I actually made just general notes because it had a few devices that I'd like to return to. It loved the tight close-up, the really
did.
tight close-up.
It did.
It loved the lens flares, especially aboard the Red October. And a lot of movies misuse this, but I thought it made really good use of the Dutch angles. They only really used it. Yes, they only really used it at parts where the story was actually kind of shifting on, like tilting a little bit.
Right.
which helped narratively, as opposed to a movie like, I don't know, fucking Thor, for example.
Right, which is just Dutch angles.
The entire movie is just shot in a Dutch angle, right?
I agree with you, man. I thought the film was really beautiful. I also noticed, in particular, movement. A lot of the time when it was just talking, and it like otherwise would be a horribly boring scene, the camera is moving and being dynamic and doing things to like make it interesting as they're techno babbling at each other. So that was like really heavy throughout the film and used really well too. Pretty claustrophobic.
Ooh, and the reveal shot of just the long rows of like, I guess they were nuclear bombs on Red October, when Sean Connery is like, a lot of stuff in this boat doesn't respond well to bullets.
Right. Yeah.
And then you have that shot of like, of fucking Alec Baldwin looking down the hall, and it's just that they pull out this long, wide shot of just all those fucking red missiles. I thought it was gorgeous. That was like, that's a shot that I'll remember for a really long time, I think.
Absolutely.
But all that said, the movie lost maybe half of the points that it gained in the final scene of the movie.
That last shot?
That fucking, like, offensively horrendous nighttime shot.
Weird.
Yeah.
And they're lit differently.
They're
For
lit
some
differently.
reason,
They desaturated, like they desaturated the actors for some reason to make it blend in with what was clearly a day shot of a lake that they also just made dark.
Yeah. It is weird. It's
Like,
one of the
what
weirder
are you
things I've
doing?
seen. Yeah.
And at the end, Alec Baldwin's head is see-through, and you see the horizon line behind it.
Like, how do you see that during your test screening and not just throw that scene out?
Because it cost $1 million.
I guess. Well, it seems like they tried to shoot something else and that got fucked, so they shot this instead for $20 on a fucking blue screen.
Well, it's this movie. Both movies really sit in a weird place where they are adapting visual styles of like 10 years before them. Down Periscope, we keep saying like it feels like a National Lampoon's kind of thing, mid 80s kind of thing. But this in particular, the shots in the ambassador's office between the Russian and the American ambassador are direct clones of shots from the Battle of Britain, which was made in like 1967. Similar scenes in an exact office like that. When it's rainy on deck, they've just taken film and have like scratched it and are like, moving it.
I fucking thought that's what was happening. Yeah,
it's not rain, and that's a really old film technique. And then the sub thing, the like layering the two images over top of each other with a night over day shot in the background. So weird.
so bad. So
There's
bad.
there's also one of those, I think it was Down Periscope that had it, because these movies did have some impressive shots of like real submarines. Which is like cool, like good on you. You did the thing. You got some subs. Well done. And then there's one, I think, of a sub cresting out of the ocean quite miraculously, and I think it's in Down Periscope.
Yeah,
it's clearly just like some not stock footage, but just like some footage that the military had lying around. And it's like a totally different film. It's super grainy. It's not in focus, but it's just a shot of a sub breaching the waters, like the ocean surface. And they were like, yeah.
Yep. There's a couple times it happened. They used just stock footage. There's this sub shot earlier, and the ship they blow up at the end is stock Navy footage. You're exactly right. It's footage from the Navy. Hilarious.
What was the budget for this movie for Down Periscope?
I don't know the budget, but the American Navy rents for free if you portray them. The entire American Armed Forces rent their vehicles and equipment and soldiers for free if you show the armed forces in a positive light in your film.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, sir. So next time you watch Captain Marvel, go, oh, fuck, this is a recruitment film.
Yep.
That makes me sick. They rent their soldiers?
Yeah, half of the submarine crews were acting naval officers, naval crews.
God. Yeah, and plus then it's a fun time they get to get their people in a Hollywood movie. Down Periscope had a budget of $31 million.
Oof. Oh, bad. That's not a $31 million 96 movie.
No. Well, I mean that submarine must have costed quite a bit.
And it was given to them for free.
And who wants to guess the budget for The Hunt for Red October?
Oh, I do. Okay. So this is 1990. It would have been after this movie, or else that joke wouldn't have made any sense. So I'm gonna go with $115 million.
Oh, I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna say this is I think this is a $37 million film.
30 million.
Oh,
It's $1 million less.
So everything was given to them for free.
The Hunt for Red October had a lower budget than Down Periscope.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, I get it because like Down Periscope wanted to do more like gimmicky things. They wanted to have more. There was a bit more asked of it, whereas a lot of Hunt for Red October is just like on these submarine interiors.
Yeah.
So that's a bit easier, but it did have 1 million actors in it. But
yeah, but half of them were
not
paid
paid
by the military and not by the studio.
Yeah.
But like Red October has fucking like more special effects with the torpedoes and shit. They have well respected actors who they definitely had to pay a lot of money for.
Yeah.
Their set design is far and above
phenomenal
what fucking Down Periscope does. Where did that money go?
I think the producers of Down Periscope need to be put on trial, and the producer of Hunt for Red October needs to be given a villa in Rome.
I mean, I guess maybe the argument can be made that in 1990, $30 million is worth more than 31 million is in 96, but like marginally.
37 million.
No, it was. I think I said it was 31. Didn't I?
I thought it was 37.
If it was 37 million, then that's about equal, and the world is a lie.
Wow.
Excuse me.
We will find out. Oh, nice burp. Nice
31.
on-pod
30,
burp.
30 and 31.
30 and
So-
31. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can
okay.
say about these movies. It's like a lot of like it's like ocean stuff. I thought what was nice was like some of the opening visuals of Hunt for Red October were quite nice. Like there's like an opening shot where it comes up to Sean Connery's face, and it's like, oh, nice morning. And he's like, the gold, and it's like this snowy landscape in northern Russia or whatever. Like there's just some cool stuff in there. But there's also some fun things in. Like, I feel like Down Periscope had a more, like, vibrant and varied movie to look at. Whereas, like...
Then The Hunt for Red October?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, please present your argument.
Yeah.
It's just, like, there's literally, like, there's just more, like, color. There's more different scenes. There's more visual... I mean, obviously, one's a comedy, more visual gags. But, like... I'm just saying it's more varied. That doesn't mean better. I just like there's more. I think there's more to take in visually than there is in the Hunt for Red October. Feels very much about it's book based. It's character based. It's about the story driving forward. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
not saying I didn't like Hunt for Red October. Look, I'm just saying I think there is a bit more, and there are still some nice shots of the ocean and of boats and of things, and it's not being quite so dark and serious as Red October was. No,
but it's a cheaper set to look at on Down Periscope, even though
it costs
more.
Right? It's supposed to be
cheaper boat.
Supposed to be that, right?
Cheaper undersea boat.
I'm still just like floored and saddened by the budget thing.
Yeah, so
I
inflation for 6 years, like that's probably a $32-33 million budget. So it probably costs more in their respective times.
But like not by much. $1 million
essentially the same.
They're essentially the same. And I cannot Hey,
Kelsey Grammer doesn't come cheap. 96 Kelsey Grammer doesn't need your Down Periscope money. you know?
Yeah,
So
but the rest of those actors come super cheap.
yeah. Rob Schneider still on his upswing, I guess.
Rob Schneider
yeah.
probably did this movie. He probably paid them to be in the movie.
Oh, and then they threw him off a boat.
Look,
Yep.
William H. Macy doesn't come cheap.
Right. I forgot he was in it.
I wanted more
a fair
William.
point.
Well, we'll get to
Oh.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, but his character was so boring in this film.
It was so bad. It was so lame.
I want more. You know, it was like a watered down version of his Fargo character.
Yes. Well, that's all
Yeah.
he was allowed to play in the 90s.
Yeah, like literally Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Well, Pleasantville's a cool movie, but anyway.
Pleasantville is a cool movie.
Yeah.
Shall
we? Trudge along?
Yeah,
Trudge
let's do the thing.
Let's go into our third category, which is story part 2. No, it's
More
it's,
boats.
it's supposed to be sound. So we've already touched on a few things, and these movies I think are actually pretty great sound-wise because you get this
Yep.
whole sonar device which is used in both
Yeah.
movies, and it's used pretty like Hunt for Red October uses it well for the movie that it's trying to be, the character of Jonesy or whatever that guy is, right? And his deduction of what sounds like a magma thing, but he did some techno babble and isolated the sound and yada yada is quite fun. And then you have the equivalent of this exaggerated character of Harlan Williams in Down Periscope, who can. It's kind of funny, the conversations, like he's kind of a security risk because the commanding officer is worried about him hearing stuff he's not supposed to hear, and he's like way off on the boat already. He's like, yeah, I'll try not to like listen too much, and it's like they're like,
Very
oh,
trustworthy.
geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really trustworthy. But he does his version of that, and it's kind of played serious, but it's quite fun. And then you get he listens to the whales and he talks to them, and he does his whale opera, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty great, just because he does it for real. It's not like they put sounds over top of him. He did a real
Whale sound ballet.
and fuck, like not many people can do that. And I thought he sold the shit out of it and made the most out of it, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And then yeah, all the tension, like even Down Periscope did it well when they did their first like deep dive, and like all the creaking of the boat and all those sounds, it makes me feel, I hate it. It's like a nightmare to me. So even Down Periscope did that well, and of course, Hunt for Red October is doing that too. Like
The pings when they get pinged and it actually hits the ship, the sound wave hits the ship and you hear it in the sub.
Yeah.
That was really effective for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're fun for like how they use sound for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. And I agree. I think that on that front, both it's a pretty even playing field. For me, I think it comes down to the score of both films.
Interesting.
And in that arena, I'm kind of torn because in Hunt for Red October, you have these really kind of effective, this through line of these like Russian patriot anthems at full blast.
Yeah, those were good.
Oh,
And then Down Periscope has In the Navy by the Village People.
with the new upgraded music video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, babe, I think the Village People are in this film.
Well, all I kept thinking was that's
Also,
like
Kelsey
an
Grammer
additional,
is-
that's like another day or two of shooting.
Yeah.
That's fucking where the money went
Yeah.
for this goddamn budget, paying the Village People to come in and do your music video.
Yeah. It had Kelsey Grammer also as each village person almost.
Yeah.
It also had excerpts of Anchors Away or whatever.
Yep. A lot of that.
Anchors Away.
A lot of just in the background that happening, and I didn't like that. I didn't like
Really?
it. I didn't like it at all.
I thought it set the tone pretty well. Like it helped you. It's like, what kind of movie is this? It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Sean. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I don't know which one I liked less. Go ahead.
No, I hated the national anthem scene in Red October.
Oh, that part is
I
Yes.
hated it because it is just
Same.
pure Americans writing a film being like, well, Soviets love their country, so of course they'd sing their anthem over and over and over again because they have a pretty new ship. Of course, the scene writes itself.
They really do that, eh? The American depiction of Russians is even what's the title of the guy who Sean Connery kills? He's just like
he's the
political officer or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
political
like,
officer, yeah.
Right.
and so he's just there to make sure that everyone on board is staying properly political.
Yeah.
And he's a bit too like mustache twirlingly like, but in the motherland there is no need for privacy. So what is the worry? Tell me, what are you? Oh, I'm dead. You know.
Yeah. And it's this film was released like a month after the Communist Party was voted out of control of the Soviet Union in 1990. So I'm sure they were all like, "Fuck, our movie isn't relevant right anymore. Fuck, there's no dirty communists."
It's just relevant enough.
Yeah,
they're just there a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, but getting back to any sound stuff, though, I agree. Though the scores, was there anything other scoring? Like, again, so much of these movies depend on kind of like the silence of the sea, the deep sea, and the tension of little sounds. So, but
there was
Sean.
some aggressive synth drumming in the final act of Hunt for Red October.
Right.
A lot of like Phil Collins background.
During his John McClane moments,
when he's running through the grates, but also synth-wise, there's that really great cheap Casio keyboard that gets hauled out in Down Periscope.
I knew you'd love that.
Rob Schneider.
I knew you would love that, Sean. You're the first person I thought of when I saw that piano.
Doesn't Kelsey Grammer say like, "Play me a dirge"?
Yes, yeah, he does.
And the guy's like shrugs and he's like, dun, 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 dun. He's like, you asked for a dirge.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was great. I think I'm leaning right now down Periscope, to be honest. I think I've just talked myself out of, although the practical effects or the like, the ship sounds, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they were that much better. In Red October, I really don't know which way I'm going. I was very put off by the variety of accents that was on the Russian ship.
There's just no cause for any of them, right?
Yeah. Well, if you had explained, like, it takes one line of dialogue to explain why they have different accents. The same way that they did with Sean Connery. Just give me some explanation for it, and then at least I can accept it, right?
In The Death of Stalin, they do something similar where, like, Steve Buscemi's in that, Jason Isaacs, Jeffrey Tambor, and they're all doing just their own native acts, like what they sound like, even though they're supposed to be Soviet top officials in 1954. But they do that for a reason, to point out that, like, this is not about Russians. This is just about silly people being silly in these circumstances. Right. So if they'd made some excuse for that after they dropped the language conceit, then this movie would have worked well. But Sam Neill's doing a Russian accent. Sean Connery is not attempting anything
at all.
And
it's tricky that the guy they do that. We've talked about is a really cool visual sound moment of the zoom in and the change to English and back.
Switches.
That dude, he switches to like, and so anyway, that's why I thought it'd be important that there's no reason that any of us need to go anywhere. Like, he's like suddenly super British,
like a duke or something.
Yeah, and that he's straight up an archduke, and that does kind of fuck it. Yep. If he was a bit more neutral and they all just went for kind of neutral, or they do the Gal Gadot thing that they had to do with Wonder Woman, that Gal Gadot has her way of talking. So all the Amazonians in Wonder Woman had to sound like Gal. They all have to have this like this accent where she's like, they're all like, here on the Amazon island, this is how we talk, just because that's how like Gal Gadot does. So if all of them were like, Captain, I'm worried that there's something going wrong here.
We're Russian
submarine pilots. So much.
Like, this is what Russians sound like when they speak English. Don't ask questions, all right? I would have admired that choice as well.
I miss the guy.
That would have been brilliant. One thing I will say, too, is that there is some serious, like, whisper mumble fucking happening in the first half hour or so of Red October. I had to pause and rewind the movie at least a handful of times because I just full on missed lines of dialogue.
I was having that with Down Periscope, to be honest.
I had my volume jacked pretty high on down Periscope. It was kind of adjusted for the dialogue, so the music was all super loud. But but it wasn't even just people talking quietly, which was also an issue. But it was that I just couldn't understand what they were saying. Like there was a line, the first meeting of Alec Baldwin and James Earl Jones, and I still don't remember what the line was. But James Earl Jones has like a line to Alec Baldwin that I rewound like 4 times and fucking didn't get it.
Yeah.
And this is James Earl Jones, like the fucking speaker of speakers.
Like the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, I think this is going to translate into our next round too. I think it's partly a performance thing in some of these movies. So
let's do it.
Let's go there. So end of round.
Yeah.
Entering our fourth. Entering our fourth official round, which is fucking how did they act? Did you think the acting was what you wanted the acting to be like?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a funny movie, Red October, where a lot of people are giving, like, there's some pretty bad, over the top, kind of, and like painfully generic American military type performances in these movies, where people are just like,
yeah,
they have a scene that they've gotten in this movie, and they just want to like try and bring it home. Mm-hmm. Alec Baldwin is a hard.
Like, Jack Ryan is a character that has been so overwritten to be the like strapping all-American lad who's gone through adversity and overcome it all and is always benevolent and always looks out for the it is not someone that exists to the point where he is written. So I don't think Alec Baldwin plays the role. I know, reading some basic reviews, that Harrison Ford isn't really Jack Ryan as per what the novels are. Ben Affleck was atrocious as him, apparently. Yeah. I don't think anyone can play this role.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't know. I was just kind of underwhelmed with Alec Baldwin, just like as an actor. Not even that, like, I didn't buy him as this better than all humans human. I just thought he was like kind of a blah actor.
I just saw him acting all the time.
Professional critical review. What's that? You saw him acting all the time.
I just saw him acting, and I kind of appreciated that. At least he was like always giving it energy.
Yes, yeah. You know, the energy kind of overcame it for me, I think.
You know, it overcame it.
It overcame his method. You know, because he's straight out of the American method school. So like,
oh, is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
they all were at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, they're just like, I still remember it. There's like, it's a fun scene, actually. I like this scene where he's been called in to speak in front of the Joint Chief of Staff or whatever like that. I think it's a fun scene. And as they're all realizing what's probably going on, that when there's like, they realize that they're all chasing one of their subs, that they realize that one of them is rogue. And then they're like, immediately the room is like, that's really bad news for us, probably.
Yeah.
And there's just a line where he fucking Baldwin leans over James Earl Jones and he's like holding a pen, and he's just like, that's ridiculous. He would never do that. That's not his character at all. And he like has like, and he like puts the pen back to his like mouth, and he's like, and I'm like, stop acting, Alec. Just, I get it. You tried to really sell the line, but God, what are you doing? Yeah. He's like yelled it out.
Meanwhile, in that same scene, there was a really effective thing just down left screen, where he's getting into that, and James Earl Jones takes his hand and puts it over his Jack Ryan's arm, and it's not focused on. You only just kind of like catch it, and then it's not mentioned at all, except as he exits, he's like, I didn't mean talk that much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, keep it civil, but Jesus Christ. I noticed that too, Sean. I thought that was great.
That was really effective. It was a weird choice not to focus on that. So I don't know.
He just didn't help me get the character. And as you say, the character is too much.
Yeah.
But it's like he just accepts his fate also. Like, he wasn't the driver of his own fate. He just gets ushered into more rooms and then put on a helicopter and then dropped from, and then he's in the sub and then sent to the other sub.
He forces himself in the helicopter. Like, at a certain point, he does take control and decide, and he's the one who keeps pushing and pushing to get all the way.
He's got to stop World War III.
Yeah.
Only Jack Ryan can stop World War III. It reminded me a lot. I don't know if any of you know this, but Ben Shapiro has a novel
Of course, I have it in hardback.
It's about a brave American military general named Brigadier General Brett Hawthorne, and it's his effort to overcome not only the terrorists but also his own backstabbing American government and bring peace and prosperity to the world. And there were just straight up like, this movie was that at points, was that
Right.
like absurd level. And part of it was Alec Baldwin, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, have you read this novel?
No, a podcast I listen to reads chapters from it every so often.
Is it any good?
No, it is
Great.
what you
Great.
think Ben Shapiro can write.
Great. Have you guys ever seen this is a total sidebar. Have you ever seen the videos online of him playing the Game of Thrones theme song on like the violin?
Ew.
But he does like all the different parts to it, and then it like the screen like breaks off into blocks. And it's just,
Is that the one where he walks up like out of darkness through smoke and then pulls up the violin? Is that video? I've seen that video, but I
I
haven't
don't
seen.
remember, but probably.
Oh, someone should beat him up.
I'm sure he got beat up so much
Yeah.
as a kid.
I don't
and
think he
that's
did. He's a
why
rich
is-
kid. He was probably private
don't know,
school. I
man.
don't think he
Rich
was out
kids
of
get
reach.
beat up quite a bit. Maybe,
hope so.
maybe.
Yeah.
But there was definitely someone from a slightly poor neighborhood that did at least try and
Yeah,
beat
it's
him up
true.
once.
Yeah, and scared him so bad.
That he was like, I'm calcified and all my views forever now. And if you look at the facts, let's say that if he is an example, and let's just say that 1 in 10 are going to emulate his behavior, that means we have a real problem.
Yep.
So put black people in jail. I'm Ben
Good.
Shapiro.
You can do Sean Connery as Ben Shapiro.
Let's just say he can't do it because he's slow. He's slow and cool, and Ben Shapiro is fast and stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, do Ben
hashtag-
Shapiro having a conversation with Barack Obama.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Down Periscope had bad acting, lots of bad acting, and some charming acting.
It did. What
Yeah.
is Kelsey Grammer doing?
Kelsey Grammer is playing like a grounded human being in what is supposed to be a cartoon of a film.
Yeah, except the first
In
two
my-
scenes, he's not a grounded human being.
Yeah, he's like, am I a cartoon? And then the showrunner was by the third scene. We're like, no, you can just like be Fraser, and he was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Frasier on a submarine. You know what? I'd watch it. I did. We just watched it.
We just did, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
I thought he was charming, but that didn't help. Like it helped the movie in terms of me enjoying it, but it didn't help what I think the movie was actually trying to do.
No. It was horribly
You know-
miscast.
Yes,
But he's a good
100%.
actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would
Yeah.
have been a better casting than Kelsey Grammer for this role
In 96.
in '96? I mean, even now,
Like
Al
Randy
Pacino.
Quaid.
No, I'm kidding. Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid maybe could have done it.
Randy Quaid, Bill Murray. Bill Murray's
Leslie
not touching
Nielsen.
this film.
Leslie
Leslie
Nielsen.
Nielsen's too old. He might be a good admiral, though.
Bill Murray
Oh,
is
yeah.
like so on the nose it hurts, but you're right.
Yeah,
Right.
But like, he's not touching that film with anything at that.
Not in
by
96.
He's got Ghostbuster money.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like going to go film Lost in Translation.
Yeah, pretty soon. Yep.
So yeah, he's fine though. He does bring some heart to the movie, and that does help the movie quite a lot. It's a good choice when even the writers decided to get rid of Rob Schneider. He is all the worst of Rob Schneider in this movie.
Nothing he does makes sense in the context of the film.
It's dumb.
It's horrible.
Although, again, I think he's the only one who read the script and like got a sense of what the script was supposed to be. Like he sets it I know I said earlier that he sets a bad tone for the film, but based on who else, on the other people they cast and the characters
Right.
they're playing.
So everyone else is bringing the material up to their level, and Rob is just at the level of the material.
But he made this.
Yeah, I kind of think so.
Okay, all right, I'll buy
No, but
it.
he also made the acting choice, and I think he inserted this into the movie, and I think it's really terrible that he would yell one word and then stop and then yell the next word. So
Yeah.
like, why are you always? He does that kind of choice, and he does that through the whole movie, to the point that when he finally gets his moment to Kelsey Grammer gives him the thing because he wants to cause a mutiny. He wants Kelsey Grammer to give over his command of the boat. And so Rob Schneider gets on the comm to like make his argument and win them over. He does that all the way through. And it's so bad that they put like a boom, 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 boom kind of music underneath
the
it.
editor had a field day at the actor's expense. Yeah.
He was like, fuck, this is the fastest take. So I guess we just try to make a bit out of it. And we have it like, I don't think that was intentional because he was just always doing that.
I'd buy that. Yeah, it was terrible. I started zoning out actively when, he's in the kitchen again. He's going to scream at the fat guy. This is fun. Oh, he slipped in oil. Oh.
Yeah.
I want to go back and watch this movie again with you, just giving like the director's commentary.
We should do live commentary on films and then sell those, because everyone wants our hot takes in the moment on these films.
The white guy thoughts brand.
Yeah.
Is a market we could get into,
As a white man, let me give
Shapiro,
you my 2 cents.
If you're listening.
No, he's too busy tweeting anti-Palestine stuff. Anyways, let's not dive into that.
Acting.
Fuck you, Ben.
Yeah. So here's my thing. So the reason why I say what I say about Rob Schneider is that you cast the guy who Sonar. What's the actor's name?
Harlan Williams.
Harlan Williams.
You cast Harlan Williams in anything, and you expect it to be what Rob Schneider is doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But even he is like just playing a kind of like charming, quiet, understated human. Yep. Right? So so this movie had really tore me in terms of how to rate the acting, because I think that the acting in Down Periscope is actually kind of above what you see in Red October.
No, it's not. It simply is not.
Some of it is.
It is to the detriment of the tone of the story, in my opinion. Okay. So I don't know whether that means it's good or bad. Right.
They're too smart.
It should have been more dumb.
It should have been more dumb.
Yeah, I don't know if I was prepared to watch a dumber Down Periscope though.
It's fair. It's really It's so tricky too. Like all the other characters, like it has a bunch of people in it, and Lake, right? That's the name of the female officer.
Yeah, she was bad. That entire situation was rough.
I thought she was fine, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, she was neutral for me.
Yeah, pretty neutral.
I thought she was rough,
and I didn't mind. Again, the rest of the crew kind of grew on me. I didn't mind them. I'm not gonna make too many notes about them.
The engines guy, Harry Dean Stanton, I think his name is. He's lovely in everything.
Yeah,
the guy the older guy, you mean?
The older guy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed the Stepanek, whatever, the troublemaker. I thought he did a fine job. His scene where he
once everyone settles.
Yeah, once everyone settles, but his scene where he goes back and he's like rallying them. He's like closing the pipes with those clamps and stuff. That's a cool
That's a
scene.
Climax. This film has a climax.
That was very
cool. That is easy to follow, and you get emotional relief at the end of.
Yeah.
Hunt for Red October, the climax is muddled. It's wishy-washy for me.
Yeah.
So that's story, but yeah.
But I think Sean Connery is really good in it. I think he is.
He has some really, really great, like subtle, nuanced moments.
He's incredible.
I don't think I've seen. I can't remember the last thing I've seen Sean Connery in. I've definitely seen him in stuff like
Dragonheart,
yeah.
So I don't know what I've seen Sean Connery in.
Right. Okay.
Where I like actively took note of his acting. Like I saw. This is
The Rock.
I saw the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or whatever, which is in like.
Yeah, 99, I think. 2000, maybe.
Oh, so this is like 10 years after. So that's already kind of when his career is on a downward.
Well, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, he bet he bet his career on that. He went into that film being like, because people were still being like, you're just James Bond, you're washed up. We don't. So he went into that being like, this is the film. If no one wants me in this, then I'm done. He never acted after that film again.
Yeah.
And
That was his
like
last
that
movie?
I like that film a lot. I'm gonna bring it onto the pod at some point.
I haven't seen it. I mean, I saw it long time ago, so
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I saw I've seen him in like Highlander and stuff, but
Oh, right.
Yeah, of course.
but again,
yeah.
like all before I had any real appreciation for what good acting was. So
Yeah.
this is my first kind of real experience critically watching him, and he is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
really good.
Of course, he's very
Yeah.
talented. By the way, Sean, if you do LXD versus The Rock, as a Sean Connery week, I
What's
will
LXD?
enjoy that. That's what they called the League of Extraordinary, or LXG, the League of
LXG.
Extraordinary
Yeah, but it's
Gentlemen.
schlock though,
That's
right?
what that movie's great.
It's a schlock film.
I would love the League of Extraordinary
Yeah, The
Gentlemen
Rock would be the classic.
right. okay.
versus Mystery Men.
Ooh, Mystery Men's the classic for sure. Oh, that's a great pairing.
Yeah,
All right.
girl.
Okay, well, so we'll get to that. Acting. Other acting.
William H. Macy is wasted.
Yeah,
that's-
I wanted
that's
so
a
much
dumb
more
thing.
from him.
Rip Torn is even wasted for what Rip Torn can do.
Yeah.
I thought James Earl Jones is good, and I like the guy Jonesy or whatever his name is. The guy who
Yeah, he
is
was cool.
The sonar guy. I thought he was strong. I liked his vibe, and also the captain guy
Captain-
in Hunt for Red
Captain was
October.
really
that
cool.
actor, he was
The
good.
sub-captain.
Yeah, the
I like
sub-captain.
hated that guy, but
That's I think what you wanted, right?
Yeah. Because you wanted to not know at the end whether he was going to give him the gun or shoot him.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, he
Or
was
when-
great.
When the moment when Baldwin has just gotten on to the ship, and he's like talking with him, and he's trying to convince him that he wants to fucking leave Russia. He wants to whatever the word is, but he wants to come to the United States.
Defect.
Defect. Thank you.
There you go.
And the captain is like listening to him, but as he's listening to him, he's also calling out commands, saying like, like prep the torpedo,
that
prep
scene
this.
was dope.
But he's also listening. I was
Yeah.
like, this is a really great moment.
Oh,
I
and Jack.
love this.
Jack, you got your. For those who don't know, Jack teaches movement at a local acting school here. But so the teacup scene. Did you notice the teacup scene when?
Oh shit! I mean,
Yeah. Yes.
wait, this might be different. There's the hilarious one where the Russian guy, he's like clearly he looks like a non-actor, and he
opens the letter.
He's like la 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 la, and he sits down and he like pours tea, and then the camera like is like tea, and then it pans over and he looks at the letter and he goes oh, and he puts it
Yeah.
down and it spills.
I
was
thought
like,
of you instantly. I thought
That's
of
not-
you instantly.
That's not quite what I
It
teach.
was an effective scene.
I thought it was actually quite silly. I was like, I thought it was weirdly shot and done poorly, but I got what they're trying to do. I was like, really like a tea spilling scene. Thank you.
Pretty funny. I loved it. I liked it.
Yeah. There's
One
a
more
lot
thing
of
I'll
actors
say
in these movies.
is
a lot of men.
A lot of men.
Lot of men.
When we first get introduced to Jonesy, I for a second was convinced that it was Samuel L. Jackson. Not once you see him, but just when you hear his voice,
Yeah.
when you hear him talking, and the camera's focused on like his white counterpart.
Yeah. This
Nobody
is
else had
before-
that experience.
But that's Oh, I did too. He had a timbre to his voice, but
Yeah.
this is before Samuel L. Jackson
No, it's not.
because he didn't break into the
maybe it was.
mainstream until Pulp Fiction, right?
Well, he was in Goodfellas as like a silent fucking crackhead or something. And
That's
then
92.
Oh, maybe. And then he got his first. I think he got his first like real speaking role in a movie called "Do the Right Thing" by Spike Lee. But that
Right.
might have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
also
that's
like
early
that might have
90s.
been early 90s.
That's
yeah,
early
okay.
90s too. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know that it wasn't him. I just for a second thought
No,
it was him.
But he was fantastic.
He
Jonesy.
was. He was quite
Jonesy
good.
was the heart of the American side.
He was
me.
really good. I thought James Earl Jones was good.
Mhm.
Nothing wrong there. He was
Especially when I
fine.
pressed that button really close to it being too late. It was a good moment.
Simba, I was never here.
Yeah. What?
That missile hit the boat. Simba.
Simba. What else can be said about these films? A lot of really great dude actors.
Mainly dude. If you want to watch movies where men do things, then these are movies you can watch.
These are those films.
If you want a movie where women do things, this is less of the movie.
Yeah, I'm
Less
sorry
of the movies for you.
For the entirety of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Hunt for Red October is clearly, it's like this movie is made by men.
Yep. It's Tom Clancy.
For men, about men. Like, and it is unabashedly about. Unabashedly bashful.
End of round?
Bashfully about
End of round.
bashing.
Jack's drunk.
So I'm hammered.
Yeah.
So let's get into our galaxy famous lightning round, where we get into it's called Likes and Gripes. What's that theme song? Likes and Gripes. It's a theme song. So
Likes and Gripes.
Yeah.
we got some Likes and Gripes.
Yeah. Likes and Gripes.
Oh yeah.
Likes and Gripes. So essentially we have any leftover likes and gripes. And we got a couple minutes to kind of fly through these. I have a bunch written down today.
Very few. So
I'm sure Dan will be passing.
Yeah,
but essentially that's
Thanks
it.
for
It's a lightning
partaking.
round. I'm going to get my timer. Okay. We'll go our standard order because we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. So we'll go Sean, Dan, Jack. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
Gripe, describing turbulence to a flight attendant.
gripe, pushy flight attendants.
Ooh.
Gripe, claiming that they know the words to Louie Louie.
Like having welcome aboard tattooed on your penis.
Damn it! I have
Sorry, bud.
welcome aboard fucking Kelsey Grammer's penis.
Got it first, bitch.
Damn it. Well, I mine anyways.
Likey Gripe, the line, and I'm paraphrasing, but something like, I'm a politician. I take lollipops from babies.
Like Sam Neill not wanting to hear about Sean Connery's dead wife anymore.
Gripe, Sean Connery's gross chewing.
Like a black character who is dope at his job and doesn't have to sound hood or something.
Gripe, the things they chose to write jokes about.
Likey gripe, sonar farts.
Like another black character who is dope at his job and doesn't have to sound hood or something.
Gripe, fog in your submarine.
Like random Patton Oswalt.
I'm in the wrong thing. I'll say a gripe, literally 2 black characters.
Gripe, stopping to sing your anthem in a submarine.
Gripe, misogyny in the Navy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say gripe the women's naval outfits.
As a antithetical follow-up to my last one, like Russian choral music.
Gripe, filling your movie with a bunch of words I don't understand.
So every movie.
Gripe,
Fuck you, Sean.
gripe having your main character yell, "I love this job."
Like Stellan Skarsgård and his entire crew.
Shit, it's a rough one at the end there.
I liked it. I loved every time he popped up because it was so stupid.
Stellan Skarsgård and everyone who was around him. Gripe.
Yep. No, it was a like.
Oh, it was a like.
It was a like.
Okay.
I thought
Great.
it was fantastic. It made me giggle every time he was like, I will kill him.
Yar. Give us a yard.
Yarr.
Nice.
There it is.
So let's get into our ratings of these movies and find out which one will be christened even, the Citizen Kane of the week. Dan's nodding.
I approve of that pun. That was
Okay.
great.
There was a pun. Sorry, I'm writing. I missed it.
Oh, was it a pun? Oh, I guess because you christened a boat.
Yeah,
Oh, you
exactly.
I didn't.
That wasn't on purpose?
Nope.
Let's,
Really? Oh, that was great, man.
It just
Guys,
happens with me.
Guys,
Oh,
let's
ew.
dive into it.
Ew, fuck you, Sean. Boo. Boo.
So anyway, let's begin with our first category of what's the first one? Story.
Yeah.
So one's the silly that manages to find its feet a little bit, and one is a bit all over the place, but is overall fairly gripping, I would say. My vote, I'll start this time. I'm not going to be the teaser. My vote, I think I'm pretty confident with this one. I'm going to give it to Red October.
I think I'm gonna go down Periscope.
Based on why? Then the
Based-
why?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
based on why?
Well, for the reasons you said. I mean, it's a silly movie, but the plot is it somehow makes a bit more sense and is easier to follow. And Red October is a bit of a jumbled mess at times, and it was like gripping, yes, but like we talked about, it is a very fragile structure for a film, and if
The
you
facade,
remove
say.
one of the Jenga pieces, the tower crumbles, and you don't have that problem with Down Periscope, so it gets my vote.
I will argue that Hunt for Red October, it is a bit tricky in that regard, but it also has some depth to it as well.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Thank you.
That was a great pun, Jack. Not like Sean's fucking shitty dive joke.
But it was one of those things where, if I'm being honest, and this is going to sound maybe like a bad thing, there were times that Miranda and I we paused the movie to be like, wait, so it's his ex-wife's, or like his dead wife's uncle was this person, and it wasn't a thing where we were like, oh, what
convoluted.
is going on?
Yeah.
We liked doing it. Like, it was fun to like take a moment, and especially as like a home movie watch,
Right.
to kind of go, oh, so this is this, and then kind of get back. We enjoyed those moments where you got to like go, okay, that's where we're at. Okay, cool, let's keep going. Like, that was fun.
I had the same experience, and I think that is a flaw of a movie. Movies are meant to be watched in a movie theater straight through, where you don't have the option to pause and go through the series of events that have led you to this
Netflix
point.
wants a word with you.
Yeah, but home movies are the way of the
Fine.
future, Dan. So you kind of get.
But this
sucked
movie
in
was
time.
made in
Background
1990.
is going crazy
I
right
know
now.
Yeah.
it's going nuts, but I'm not changing it. I've committed to the bit, so it's staying.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
You do you take it off? You're like in a sex dungeon.
You guys
This
do
is
not
like-
want to see what's actually behind
Don't
me
wanna
right
see
Yeah,
now.
there's like leather hanging chairs and
it's
whatnot.
just Kelsey Grammer and 11 minstrels. Just
And a-
yeah.
It's Kelsey
a
Grammer
drink.
getting his actual penis tattooed behind me.
Wow.
Apparently, he is a real drinker. By the way, apparently there are stories of
Whoa.
him. Just
Are we just celeb gossip now?
yeah,
That's
Way
fair.
to fucking
Anyway.
throw him under the bus, Jack.
he's fine.
Wow.
Is he? So, anyways, I would argue that is a flaw of a plot.
Whatever. It's
If
fun
you
for
have
like
to-
a based,
if you have to
based on a book
occasionally
vibe,
pause.
though.
And I
Yeah, Sean.
hold the balance of power. Oh, how mighty I feel. I am
It's not a
going
boat
to
pun, Sean.
how
don't
displaced
make it
I
one.
am. Because displacement, because boats displace water, and that is
Oh
the
my God!
principle
Just
of buoyancy.
say, just
Fucking
what
say
you
your
think,
vote.
dude. Yeah.
Down Periscope.
Down Periscope.
Down
Yes.
Wow.
Periscope.
Yes.
Look, I'm not really upset. I also kind of agree, but
I listened to both your arguments, and it came down to me: how often did I laugh at this movie, or how often did I laugh with this movie? And I laughed at a Red October more than I laughed
With?
at Down Periscope, but I laughed with Down. You get what I'm saying here.
we got you, Sean.
All right, so
Displacement.
there's a point for Down Periscope.
All right, so second category then, which is freaking looks. Which looks did you
Red
prefer?
October. Red October.
Yeah, Red
Like,
October, that's a no-brainer.
1,000%.
I mean,
Shut up. Don't even, Jack, don't.
Down Periscope.
But
It's a
for
point.
why?
Red October.
But for what?
For what?
I thought their submarine shots were like equal in the end, pretty new, like more or less the same. There's a bit more. There is some more in Red October, but it's not like it's blowing you away. It's a sub-interior movie. Yeah. All right, like let's not be crazy.
But the production value of the interior of the subs was so much higher. The lighting was better. It was they even did like contrast lighting where like the American sub was blue and the Russians were red, so you could like get visual cues about who was good and who was bad. It was like narrative storytelling through visuals. That
was kind of something that pissed me off. It was like, why are the
lazy,
Russians
dumb choice.
on the Death Star, and why are the Americans on a like clear naval cruiser?
Yeah, so it didn't need all that. As I said, I think there was just more fun stuff. There's just more stuff. There was still some beautiful shots that Down Periscope had of like when the sub first pulls out. There's a fun image like it's really tiny next to all the boats it's pulling out next to, and like it's just like I don't know. It's just more of a smorgasbord of stuff. Whereas like Hunt for Red October without sound is a piece of shit. Well, it's not a piece of shit, but it's like. It's just, or without, yeah. Anyway, just to look at it, I said it right.
Yeah, it's not sound. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but saying without sound. So if you're just looking at it, it's like.
Yes, if you were just listening to the Hunt for Red October, you would be
look like a piece of
in
shit.
Guantanamo Bay being tortured by the CIA.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Anyway, my point is that Hunt for Red October is just like a pretty standard gray-looking early action pseudo spy.
What about the cool visual storytelling device of the language swap?
Lieutenant, you will report to the brig.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Sound?
Lieutenant Dan. So anyway, you can have your way though. So that point can go to Red October.
Right on.
So wait, what's the score right now? Is it tied?
It's 1-1.
Okay, so we get into our third category, which is sound. Sound.
Zings.
Yeah, this one I don't know. No, I do know. This one, it's Down Periscope for me. Because the village people.
That's true. It's actually kind of a strong point.
It's absurd.
But also just like the mumble fucking, like I should never have to rewind a movie to hear what somebody is saying. That's a huge faux pas for me.
Sure.
So that plus the lack of the village people loses for Hunt for Red October.
Is the term mumble fucking one that you have come across and are using, or did you coin this?
We've said it before.
We have said that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you
never heard?
I'm just really clocking it, and I just feel like it's a word that
I've said it twice now.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it
too.
It rolls off the tongue really well. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's really clear what it is.
Marlon Brando mumble fucked his way through his career. Yeah.
That would be the last place that we used it, actually, I think.
Probably,
yeah. The Street Named Desire.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, probably Island of Dr. Moreau. But I mean, that was the same week. I am inclined to agree with you, Dan. I think Down Periscope.
I have never had such a good week in my life with you guys. Okay, continue.
It's true. I'm gonna go Red October. The pings made me go.
But didn't they have pings in?
They had pings,
but they weren't as good.
Oh,
that's pretty weird.
Like more or less the same to me, but
hey, your Dune Periscope won the point.
True. It's actually
Dune Periscope.
Dune Periscope. Okay,
I want to go down on the Periscope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's getting better.
Okay. Next.
Next. I say that. No, it doesn't matter. Last official category of acting. Red October.
Yeah. Don't say it. Don't fucking say it, dude.
Even just that scene of like we talked about of Baldwin trying to convince him that he wants to defect, and the captain. That scene alone,
phenomenal.
Damn, that's good. And the scene too, where they're on the boardroom and they're realizing that this guy is gonna maybe bomb them and stuff. There's just good stuff.
There's hot shit.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with you.
Ooh,
right.
but this sets up a thrilling conclusion to our
thrilling
podcast.
conclusion to a thrilling
For the first
podcast.
time in months.
For like a while. We actually have a tie going into our fifth category, which is rewatchability. Which one of these would you return to? You think I liked it, me likey, me watch again.
Yep, it's gonna.
See, this week there's like a divide for me between which one did I enjoy more and which one would I watch again. You know what I mean?
But this is rewatchability.
But it's a bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
That's a good point because I don't know because I know for sure that I enjoyed Down Periscope more.
Okay.
I had a better time. There's some knee slappers, some gut chucks, some fun.
But you wouldn't put it
moments.
on before you would put on Hunt.
I don't know that I need to see it again, but I also don't know that I need to see the Hunt for Red October again. Fuck it, Down Periscope.
Okay, then I'm countering with Hunt for Red October.
Okay, great, good counter argument, solid.
That's a good counter argument, Sean.
Yeah,
that's good.
That was a tight rebuttal.
No, I think the entire episode has been the counter argument. I think we just I don't need to watch Down Periscope again. It's silly movie that has nothing to offer anymore because I watched it once.
Except like a fun, good time.
No, I don't need to watch we shrunk her clothes so her boobies are pointing out of her shirt
That's true.
again.
I would rewatch the last 50 minutes of Down Periscope again.
I wouldn't even because you get that in Hunt for Red October better.
Do you?
You do.
Do you?
You do.
No, but answer Dan's question, Sean.
You.
What?
Do you?
Hey, it's
do
in your
ye?
lap,
Yar.
Jack.
Sean, he's asking. I can't do it. I don't have Obama. Well, I agree with what you're saying, Dan. Like I'm of a similar mind. I totally get what you're saying.
But
because I enjoyed both these movies.
There's a big old butt.
There's a pretty big old butt in there. And Sean, I hear what you're saying. But I have the added thing if there is something in particular that I could maybe enjoy once, but I don't really want to watch again because it'll make me maybe want to start to get kind of pukey, is the American War Machine drivel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Sure.
I for my vote choose Down Periscope.
Wow. Okay. I'm not really offended by any of this. I also agree with you. I just enjoyed my viewing of Hunt more than I did Periscope.
I enjoyed both.
Yeah, it was
I'm being
actually a
honest.
really fun pairing.
Two watchable movies.
Yeah. Two watchable movies.
Yeah, it's a
Rave
rarity
reviews from the Citizen Kane versus team.
Yeah.
Two watchable films.
Yeah.
Follow
I guess
us
Down
at
Periscope,
Real
yeah.
Ben Shapiro for more exciting fucking reviews.
Just go tweet storm Ben Shapiro if you happen to tweet.
Yeah, tweet at Ben Shapiro #ComeOnCarry. That'll confuse the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. So that's it. So without any further ado, that means the Citizen Kane of the week is Down Periscope. Yar.
Wow.
Yar.
Wow.
Yar. Take that, fucking classic of the 90s, Hunt for Red October.
This is the first time that a schlocky movie has won in quite some time.
It's been a minute.
Was the last
This is
one?
close. This was close. I
This was
truly
very close.
didn't know where I was going to vote until we had finished talking about it. I
Rat
think.
Race, probably. Yeah, Rat Race. So
Oh, that
me-
actually
Oh, yeah.
that was actually
yeah,
pretty
that was-
recently.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah,
Keep them coming,
so,
Sean.
Hey,
You
you're
know how to
welcome.
pick the schlocky fucking shit.
Well, yeah, that's what I do.
Speaking of picks.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of picks, I got some picks for next week.
Speaking of
Okay.
picks,
yeah.
Speaking
I got some
of
picks.
picks.
Well, why don't you drop your depth charges on us,
Sean,
right
Sean,
Oh my
what I
God.
felt like I was onto something with that character, and now I feel dirty continuing.
How about you just ping us with your picks, you know?
Speaking of picks, let me ping you with what I got.
Yeah.
You brought it back. You brought it back.
That was good. That one
Damn
was good.
you did it. You beautiful bastard.
I'm very talented. Thank you.
I want to make a schlocky military movie where everyone is refers to everyone as a beautiful bastard all the time.
Beautiful bastard.
You
Yeah.
damn beautiful bastard.
Yeah. All right.
And then they
yeah.
kiss. Every scene ends with a man-on-man kiss.
In the Navy. Yeah.
Yeah. So my picks, this is going to be a bit of a rehash, based on something that I botched a while ago. But
Dear.
since
Here it comes.
since now it is officially out, it's not of the season, but I
cool.
want to do it. We're
Right.
coming back with what I think will be a fun pairing. We're gonna watch Psycho versus Psycho Gorman.
Right on. Right
I
on.
biffed it before when I pitched it, but
Super biffed.
it came out yesterday. Psycho Gorman. We can
Okay.
watch,
It came
or
out in
like
the
it-
States months ago.
or it came out on Shudder. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So now we can watch it on Shudder. I guess as a plug for Shudder now. Start your
Cool.
free trial
I don't
today.
even know what that is.
It's like a
What?
horror
Really?
movie streaming thing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That's nice.
exactly what it is.
Everyone gets their thing.
So yeah, Psycho versus Psycho Gorman.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Right
Is
on.
it? Is it a horror movie? I thought it was kind of
It's-
like a no Psycho Gorman. I thought it was like a campy.
It's
Sci-fi
campy-
thing.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi horror send up.
Yeah, sci-fi
Right.
horror send up, bit of gore,
Yeah.
but a bunch. Of
I've heard great
send-ups.
things.
Yeah,
Heard great things.
buddy of ours is the voice of Psycho Gorman. Beat out our local
Our
contendee,
homegrown talent.
Well,
Lieutenant Dan here.
I was auditioning for the body of Psycho Gorman.
Oh, that explains.
Yeah,
That explains
and I don't have
why you
nearly
didn't
enough
get
muscle.
it, and the ensuing fitness craze that you've gone on ever
Did you
since.
see the guy who got
Oh,
cast
no.
as Psycho Gorman?
Yeah,
he's
he's
fucking
big.
jacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny that the guy who voices Psycho Gorman is like 5 feet tall, right? Like he's
And a talented voice actor.
very, very
Yeah.
talented actor overall. But I just thought it was interesting that you have this like tiny body with
With
I
a
should
big
stop
voice.
talking. The big voice,
Yeah.
big boy voice.
Lieutenant
That made it
Dan,
worse.
you've
I'm
got
sorry.
command of the helm. Any parting words of wisdom from?
This is me spinning the ship wheel.
No, you got the helm. You don't have the wheel.
Oh,
Come on.
so I haven't learned enough about ships
You're
apparently.
gonna be discharged
Ooh.
unless you can save it right now.
What was the question?
Any final words of sea wisdom?
If it's
No.
a whale, don't fuck it.
And
And
Oh, boom! The boom, 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 boom. Citizen Kane versus